Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar about the Integrated Program in Management at IIM Indore. My name is Utsav Thapriyal. I was part of the IPM 2014-2019 batch. The basic reason why I wanted to conduct this webinar is because I firmly believe that as a participant, I have interacted with a lot of aspirants who want to join the program. And I have felt that a lot of people do not have a full understanding about what the program is about. There are a lot of doubts that people have. People do not understand what is the curriculum, what are the future prospects like, and what is the correct admission procedure. So the basic objective of this webinar is not just to discuss with you how do you join IPM, what is the admission procedure. You can read about that in multiple places. What I wanted to do is talk through my own experience. I wanted to talk about how life during IPM is, what are the future prospects you have after this course, what is the main spirit, structure, and curriculum of the program, and why you should join this. How does it compare with other premier colleges and their programs, and what special do you get at IIM Indore? One thing I would like to clarify at the very onset is that this is a personal initiative that I have taken because I firmly believe that people should have clarity about what the program is and how it is structured and what it's about. This is not an official IIM Indore, webinar through the institute per se. It is my own personal opinions that I'm expressing over here, and this is a personal initiative that I have taken. Nevertheless, I have received a lot of support from the IPM Media Committee, which I would like to, sincerely thank over here. I did not expect the overwhelming response that I received for this webinar. We have around over 1,000 people who registered for the webinar who wanted to know about the details, and I think the MediaCom did a fabulous job in, getting you all together to, get to know this webinar. So I would like to thank Aniket and the IPM MediaCom for, really powering this and supporting this webinar. So without any further ado, let's get started. What I'll be talking about is some major bullet points. I have also received a lot of questions from you, which I'll be covering at the end. Uh, since this is premiering on YouTube and there's a live chat available, you can feel free to ask questions in the live chat based on any slide that you see or any questions that you have about what I'm speaking, and I'll be trying to answer them within in the comments itself or in the live chat itself. So let's get started. A little bit about me. I was a participant in the IPM 2014 batch, which was the fourth batch that IIM Indore had for IPM. I was awarded the all-rounder gold medal in the 2019 convocation for the 2019 batch. Um, Aside from this, I was also facilitated by Inside IIM as one of the most employable students in the batch of 2019 across all IIMs and MBA colleges. Um, so after the college, through my campus placements, I joined Make My Trip as an assistant manager in digital marketing, where I was working till March 2020. A lot of people have been asking about my own schooling background, how much I scored, and what academic background did I come from before joining IPM. So I did my schooling at St. Joseph's Academy in Dehradun. I gave the ISC or the ICSC boards as they are known, and I had physics, chemistry, maths, and biology during my class 12. I scored 91% in my class 12 examinations and 95.6% in my class 10 examinations, which I frankly feel is not, a really important question for an IPM aspirant. In my batch itself, I have seen really brilliant people who performed very well in IPM who did not have that high scores in their, class 12 or their class 10 board examinations, but they still got through in IPM and they performed exceptionally well. So do not take whatever have your scores been in class 10 or class 12, as a testament to how you'll do in IPM or whether you'll qualify in IPM. Those are things that make an impression in the interview, but they are not qualifiers for your admission in any way. So, talking about what is IPMs, the IPM, the full form is Integrated Program in Management. It is offered at Indian Institute of Management, Indore, which was one of the first institutes to, start an undergraduate program in management. IPM is very unique in the way it is structured, and I would like to clarify that it is not a BBA plus MBA program as many people believe. The program offers a BA degree in the first 3 years, and the reason they offer a BA degree is because they have a very unique curriculum. The structure of the curriculum and the aim of the curriculum is to create managers who are socially conscious, who do not just care about businesses or who do not just understand how businesses and corporates and economies work, but they're also conscious about deeper aspects which give them a bigger perspective about life, about people, and about society, which helps them in becoming more socially conscious managers and who are more contextually relevant in a very changing business scenario. Talking about the structure, after the first 3 years, IPM students are offered a BA Foundations of Management degree. Again, it is not a BBA MBA program. After the first 3 years, you get a BA degree in Foundations of Management. And after the first 3 years, you join the regular MBA batch, which joins IIM Indore through the CAT examination. You merge with those with the batch that comes in through the CAT examination, and after the completion of the last 2 years, you are awarded an MBA degree. So essentially, IPM is a dual degree program. In 5 years, you get a BA degree at the end of 3 years and an MBA degree at the end of the last 2 years. The program is structured in a trimester system, not a semester system. So you have a 3 month term, and you have three such terms in the middle of an academic year, and therefore you have a total of 15 terms spread over the period of 5 years. Talking about what you study in IPM, what is the structure, what are you studying, what subjects are you being offered. So IPM is broadly divided into three pillars, three broad headings of the different kind of things you study, different subjects you study. The first one is economics, second is mathematics and statistics, and the third is humanities. Unlike many other programs that people join after class 12, you're not just specializing, in just one field. Supposedly, you join a BA Maths honors program, you would be only studying subjects under the broad heading of mathematics, statistics, quants, etc. The aim of IPM is to develop people more holistically, to give them a more all-rounded education. So therefore, it is important for people to study and specialize in not just one field or one aspect of management or business. It is important for you to understand, things in a deeper way. So you have to have a good base in all three of these pillars of IPM. You do not have an option to only study economics and not study humanities and maths in IPM. So I think this is one of the key features of IPM, that no other course or no other college offers a confluence of so many different subjects which are starkly different from each other and which build a more deeper perspective in people. For example, I used to have classes in the morning, starting with, study microeconomics in the morning. Then after that, you have a class on philosophy, and after that, you study a class on statistics, and after that, you have a class on something like environmental economics. So the point is, because you are studying a very, very different kinds of subjects, you get to know a lot of different things, and you become a more all-rounded individual, who has a much wider base in knowing a lot of things. Not only this, all these three pillars of IPM provide a very different skill set to an IPM individual. Courses like mathematics, statistics, and economics build more analytical rigor. Courses in psychology, sociology, political science, these are courses, subjects which are, the core disciplines of management. Psychology, sociology, political science, all these things build up into, subjects like marketing or HR later on, or organizational behavior later on. So having a good base in this is very important for you to understand, the higher level subjects of MBA later on better. So therefore, the first 3 years of IPM build a very good base so that you outperform students who come in through the CAT examination who do not have that good a base that you will have through IPM. Courses in humanities, literature, fine arts build more breadth and perspective. In IPM, you have courses even in music, drama, dance, etc. All these things build more all-rounded individuals who, have a lot of confidence, who have very good communication and interpersonal skills. A lot of courses, focus on building leadership skills in people, building soft skills, which are as important as, the hard skills of understanding subjects. After these 3 years of intensive foundational disciplines, which happen in IPM, and the three pillars that I talk about are the courses you have during the first 3 years of IPM. After this, you train as regular managers with the people who join after the CAT exam. Now, talking very specifically about why IPM. Firstly, IPM is a very, very rigorous course. There is a lot of high analytical rigor. Having a trimester system means that every 3 months you have midterm examinations, end term examinations, you have a lot of quizzes, you have a lot of assignments. So it's a very rigorous course compared to other courses. There is a lot of academic effort that you have to put in, to understand a lot of different subjects, to give examinations in those different subjects, to, build a very strong base in these subjects. Overall, IPM is a course that requires a lot of hard work from you. And all that hard work does reflect in the sort of person you become after the first 3 years. It does reflect in the sort of wide base of knowledge that you have. It reflects in the sort of person you become, who is capable of doing a lot of hard work, who's capable of putting in a lot of effort, who develops a lot of skill analytically, and soft skills that you develop through the courses in IPM. Secondly, IPM offers a very wide exposure. IIM Indore is one of the best institutes of this country. So therefore, you come in contact with some of the brightest minds, not just in terms of professors, in terms of faculty, in terms of guest lectures, but also in terms of people who are there in your batch, who you interact with, who you study from, and who you get to learn from, as much as people from your own batch as you do from the faculty. So you meet some of the brightest minds of the country, some of the most analytical minds, some of the most knowledgeable people during your stay in IPM, and which is something you do not get, in all colleges. There's a lot of exposure that you get to industry professionals, to faculty, to international students. So all of these things do, come into building you as a better person. Fourth point that I want to talk about is the brand value of IIM Indore. So IIM Indore was founded in 1996. It's one of the most premium B schools in our country. So there's a lot of brand value that comes with an institute that is so old, which has a lot of good faculty, and there's a lot of learning that you get from that. That brand value also, applies to you as a student of IIM Indore. It opens a lot of doors for you when you want to apply for internships, when you want to apply for jobs, when you're looking for projects, when you contact people, for any work that you have for personal or professional initiatives. That brand value of IIM Indore plays a very important role in how people perceive you. So the high brand value of IIM Indore in itself, lends a lot of credibility to you, lends a lot of professional and personal growth to you. Due to the structure of IPM, IPM students are built for leadership roles and positions of responsibility. One of the key aspects of business schools is encouraging people to do group studies, do group work, which builds interpersonal skills, which builds leadership skills, and all of that does reflect in how you work later on in your job life. You're able to take leadership roles better. You're able to interact with your teams better, and you're able to perform better in your corporate jobs, in whatever work you seek later on. IPM is also open to students of all academic backgrounds. I have received a lot of questions if it is only for commerce students, if only accounting students can apply, if humanities students can apply, if students without maths in their class 12 can apply. So yes, each and every one can apply. There are no requirements about what sort of subjects you study in your plus two, which restrict you from joining IPM. Anyone can apply. Even students who do not have maths in their class 12, I believe they can apply. A few years ago, there was a rule imposed that they wouldn't be able to apply, but I think that is not applicable now. I myself had a physics, chemistry, maths, and biology background, and even though I did not study any business-related subjects like commerce or accounting or economics or anything like that, these were subjects that I was exposed to for the first time when I joined IPM. So anybody can apply: science students, commerce students, humanities students. Whether you have maths or not, you can feel free to apply to IPM, and you will do well in IPM because it is a course that encourages you to learn new things, to get out of your comfort zone, and understand new disciplines that you were not exposed to before. So because you're exposed to a lot of different things, it encourages students to find their niche and their area of excellence. um, a science student like me, when I was in class 12, I was not exposed to subjects like political science or economics, and later on when I joined IPM and I studied these courses, I was really able to enjoy these courses, and I was able to see that this is something that I do well in, and I enjoyed learning about them. So that is the very point of IPM, that it exposes you to things that you would never have studied before, that you would never have been exposed to before, and that you find that you excel in. Moving on, one of the key features of IPM is a social internship that is offered to students at the end of the second year. So students at the end of the second year can apply for a social internship. So the point of the social internship is that you are fresher students who do not have any prior work experience before joining your college. So this is a first chance for people to explore working life. Uh, Students do these internships at CSR wings of organizations, at NGOs, at academic institutions, at think tanks. Most of these internships revolve around field work or research work, but the very core of this program is to learn that people are exposed to real life social problems, and through what they study in IIM Indore, they're able to solve these real life social problems. So, this is a chance for you to have impact on real people's lives. Working in NGOs, working in CSR wings, you're able to do social work which you would have never done, you know, while working anywhere else or while you were studying, because it exposes you to something which is outside your comfort zone. You're able to understand different cultures, you're able to understand the life of those who are not as privileged as you, and you're able to make a real world impact in their lives. So the social internship is one of the key parts of IPM, because the aim is to build socially conscious managers who are conscious of society, who are conscious of their surroundings, and therefore who in through their work have an impact on the lives of people around them. Now, coming to a very key question of placements. So, I wanted to talk about placements and future growth, because people, are joining a B school. They have a lot of hopes about what kind of jobs they're going to get, how they're going to work, and how do they compare in comparison with other people. So, talking about this over here, IPM students have performed exceptionally well in the industry. The program started in 2011. So, since then, the first batch that graduated in 2016 joined the industry. They did good work. Their feedback was well received. And therefore, there is a lot of demand for IPM students among companies for final placements and summer internships. And because IPM students are able to perform well over there, these companies keep coming back and having a demand, and keep hiring students for final placements and for summer internships. IPM placements, job packages, and opportunities that IPM students get are largely at par with those of PGP candidates. A lot of people have been asking this, that do IPM students suffer as compared to students who join in after CAT later on? The broad answer is that they do not. While some companies have criteria about hiring only PGP students because they have a desire for work experience, etc., most companies are able to compare IPM students at the same level, and they're able to give them a lot of opportunities. So uh, the job scenario for IPM students for placements and for internships is very good. There are a lot of good companies which are hiring IPM. Some of the major MNCs of this country do have a great demand for IPM students, and they keep coming back and hiring IPM students every year. One very notable factor is that opportunities for IPM students are growing exponentially every year. So, supposedly you have 10 companies that come this year, you will have 15 or 20 companies that come in the next year. So the number of these opportunities are increasing, every year. And I'm able to confidently say that most students do get good job opportunities right after campus, right through campus placements itself, they're able to get offers. So overall, it is a very, very positive scenario, and so there is nothing to worry about for placements for IIM Indore students and for IPM students more specifically. A lot of people have been asking that what roles do IPM students join? IPM students have been able to join industry leading firms in all sort of profiles, in marketing, finance, sales, consulting, social sector, general management, everything. I myself joined in a digital marketing profile right after campus through campus placements itself. So moving on from placements, what are the post IPM opportunities that people have? While most students do study for all 5 years and apply for good placements through campus placements itself, students also have an option that after third year they leave IIM Indore with a BA degree. So this is called an exit option. As part of this, instead of completing the whole 5 years, you can complete 3 years, get a BA degree, and not complete the last 2 years for an MBA degree. So students also have an option to take a sabbatical for up to 2 years after they do the BA degree. So you can choose to study for 3 years at IIM Indore. Then you take a gap of 1 year or 2 years so that you get some experience, do a job, and then come back to IIM Indore, without giving any additional exam to complete your MBA degree of the last 2 years. So this is called a sabbatical option. Both of these options are new options, and they're available for IIM Indore students, and they're really good options if you want to think about that. There have been students who have left IIM Indore after 3 years. They've taken a BA degree and they've been able to join other IIMs, or they've been such as IIM Bangalore or IIM Calcutta, and There are some students who've left IIM Indore with a BA degree after 3 years to pursue something like higher education or to apply for civil services, etc. Uh, Talking about a very important thing is entrepreneurship. IPM students get a very, very good platform. If they want to be entrepreneurs, if they have their own business ideas, if they want to launch their own ventures or their own companies or their own startups, IIM Indore offers a very, very good platform for this. Students get exposure to a lot of professors who give them good ideas, who give them good guidance. Not only this, IIM Indore also offers, something called a startup incubator, where you get support such as funding, support such as, you get classroom credits for doing your entrepreneurship work. And so even like this, there is a lot of support that IPM students get. So not only can students take a job after 5 years through campus placements, there are a lot of people who after 5 years, start their own startups or their own companies or their own ventures, and they get a lot of support from IIM Indore for that. Not only this, after completing 5 years, there are students who go for higher educations, whether they do it for PhD programs or they do it for specialized courses in some field that they like, or preparing for some exams, etc. So these are the sort of future opportunities you get after IPM. Now, a lot of people have been asking me on what is the campus life like at IIM Indore, and I want to say that IIM Indore offers, one of the best campus lives, across all higher education, you know, universities in India. Firstly, because it is a residential program, all students are required to compulsorily be staying on campus. There is no option to stay outside campus in apartments or in PGs, etc. Every student is required to stay in the hostel, stay in IIM Indore campus, and therefore, because of that, there is a very good campus life that people have. Spending so much time in the institute with your batchmates, you build really deep connections and a very good network with a wide variety of really brilliant people by staying on campus. So there is a very vibrant campus life. There is always something going on in campus, be it in terms of festivals, competitions, events, etc. So it is a very large, lush green campus. It is a very, very safe environment. It is safe for young children, for girls, and it is a very safe environment. The campus is located, out on the outskirts of IIM Indore, so there is very less disturbance. It is a very academic and very, safe environment away from any disturbances that are there in a center of a city. It is a whole planet in itself. You have your own areas for eating, for going out. You have shops on campus, everybody stays on campus. You have a very good library, you have amazing sports facilities which are not there in any other. I'm very confidently able to say that the sort of sports facilities you get at IIM Indore are not those available at any other IIM. And not only this, by staying with a lot of different brilliant people, you are exposed to a lot of different cultures. In terms of people who are living in your hostel, in terms of the people you're sharing your room with, you meet a lot of different people who come from very different cultures than you. You learn different languages from them. You learn as much from them as much as you do in your classroom. So overall, by having a very, very vibrant campus life with a lot of diversity, a lot of events going on, a lot of activities going on, there is a lot of holistic development that people have. And not only this, it is a highly disciplined environment. So there is very less tolerance for any misbehavior or any vices, etc. And it's a very safe, highly disciplined environment. So I've been getting a lot of mails from parents about the campus life. So I wanted to reassure you that it is a safe, disciplined environment away from the city, and students are encouraged to develop holistically, learn a lot and spend a lot of time in productive activities by having a very brilliant campus life. So as part of the campus life, IPM students have a lot of fests that they organize. There are a lot of committees, clubs, etc. that students can be a part of. So the reason why these are very important is that you don't just have academic learning of subjects in a classroom. You are also able to apply a lot of things you learn, by doing activities, by participating in things with different people, and by organizing a lot of different events through clubs, committees, or by organizing campus, college fest, etc. So what these do is that because you're interacting with a team of different people, it it builds a lot of interpersonal skills in people. You're able to lead a team, you're able to guide people, you're able to build a good network, interact with a lot of people, do productive things. And these are as much a part of your growth and your learning at time indoor as much as your classroom learning is. So you learn more about this when you join I'm Indore, but as an aspirant, what I wanted you to know is that the sort of growth and leadership skills that you develop through campus life is as important in evaluating a college or a course as is the course curriculum, etc. These are some more details about the campus, some of the great infrastructure that we have. You can find all of this on the website also. So moving on from this, some key features about the IP program is that just like the students who come in after CAT, the regular 2 year MBA students, you have a corporate or a summer internship. So this happens at the end of your 4th year, where students are able to do a 2 month internship in major MNCs, etc. Again, for this, campus placements and placements office provide a lot of support, and students are able to bag some of the best internships with very good paying packages, in some of the best companies in India. There is a very interesting rural engagement program in the 4th year that students participate in. As part of this, students stay in a village in Madhya Pradesh and solve social problems in a village for a week, and it exposes people to different cultures. It exposes people, it pushes people outside their comfort zone, and it's a very important part of the holistic learning you have at IIM Indore. This is a unique program that IIM Indore started, and it's a key part of IPM and PGP programs. There is a foreign exchange program that is offered in the 3rd year or alternatively in the 5th year. As part of this, students get a chance to spend 3 to 5 months at a foreign university. So most of the partner universities are in Europe or in countries like Taiwan or Brazil, etc. So as part of this, students complete one full term abroad in a foreign university, and more details on this are available on the websites, etc. But what I wanted to point out is that it's a very, very good opportunity for students, to learn from a different culture, learn from a different universities. It reflects very well on you that you have been able to qualify for a foreign exchange program. It builds, it brings on the brand value of another foreign university to you. Plus, it's a great opportunity for you to learn, from different people, meet different people, study abroad, tour abroad. So it's a very good part that IPM offers it within the 3rd year itself, or you can take it as part of the MBA program in the middle of the 5th year too. There's also a Himalayan outbound program in the 5th year where students are taken on a trek in the Himalayas, to build real world skills. More details on the website if you want to read more about them. Now we come to the very important part about how to apply for IPM. What is the admission structure like? So first of all, there is the application that you have to fill in. The application for this year have closed on April 20, if I'm not wrong. So if there are any students who want to take a drop, or if there are any students who are watching who are in class 11 right now, the applications generally open in March beginning. So please keep a lookout for that. Do fill in the application as soon as possible. The application requires you to upload some documents, answer a few questions about your academic background, and the aim of the application is to understand your proficiency in academics as well as see what sort of extracurricular activities have you been doing. Then we come to the IPM aptitude test. So the IPM aptitude test tests aptitude in logical reasoning. It tests your analytical skills. It also sees your proficiency in English and mathematics. After students qualify the IPM aptitude test, a selected few students are invited for a written analysis test and a personal interview. So the written ability test tries to see your communication skills and your argumentative skills, whereas the personal interview tries to gauge your your skill and your personality as an individual. Let me talk a bit more in detail about this in the next few slides. Um, Secondly, application criteria. As I said before, there are no application criteria in terms of what subjects you have studied before. Whether you are a humanities student or a commerce student or a science student, anybody can feel free to apply for IPM and do well in IPM. However, there are some criteria on the basis of age, qualifying exam, and percentage. First of all, talking about age, for students who are applying this year, the criteria is that the student should have been born after August 1, 2000, and there are some relaxations as you can see on the slide. There's a qualifying exam criteria that any IPM student should have completed his plus two. You could be applying for your plus two and giving your plus two exam at the same time as giving your IPM exam. but you cannot join IPM, without having completed your class 12 examination. Talking about percentage criteria, there's a minimum criteria of having 60% in your class 10 exam and in your class 12 examinations. And there are some relaxations available over here also. Now we come to talking about the IPM aptitude test. So the aptitude test is divided into two broad skill categories which it tries to gauge. The first is quantitative ability and the second is verbal ability. Quants is again divided into MCQ questions and short answer questions. Now, these are some details that you would have seen from the website also, but now I would like to talk about my own experience here and some tips and tricks that I know. So, first of all, it has been noted that the quantitative ability section is tough. The quantitative ability section is based only on the syllabus of up to class 10. So I have received a lot of questions if calculus plays a role. No, there's no calculus, there's no differentiation, there's no integration, there's nothing that you study in class 11 and 12 mathematics that would be asked over here. So even if you did not have mathematics in class 11 and 12, you can feel free to apply. However, the syllabus is mathematics up till class 10 level. Having said that, just because it is mathematics of a class 10 level and you're a class 12 student does not make it easy. The very point of an aptitude test is that it sees your analytical skills. So, therefore, to build those analytical skills, to build that aptitude, and to build that logical reasoning aptitude, practice is very, very, very important. I would suggest for any IPM aspirant, get a book. There are many books to choose. I have been getting questions about what book to choose. It doesn't matter. Pick a book, pick a relevant book, make sure that has been published in the last 3 years, and practice a lot of quantitative ability questions. Practice logical reasoning, practice aptitude, and practice quantitative ability short answer questions also. The biggest method to prepare for any aptitude test is practice. There is no other way. There's no tips that you can learn. There are no tricks that you can learn. There's no mental tricks that you can learn. The only answer over here is practice. So it has also been noticed that even though the syllabus is up to a class 10 level, the questions are difficult. So the answer for that is practice. Also, during my year and in the subsequent years, there have been questions which have been picked right out of JEE papers. So look through old JEE papers, try to solve those old JEE papers. For example, I would suggest pick up the last 5 year papers and do solve, the mathematics section of those papers. Leave out the part which is, covering a syllabus of class 11 and 12, be it differentiation, integration, stuff like that. Pick up the syllabus which was there before class 10 and do solve those old JE papers to get very good practice. Um, Also, while again over here, there have been some minutes specified for quantitative ability, for verbal ability. Uh, Take that with a pinch of salt. Talking very specifically about the verbal ability section, in my year and in through the interaction that I've had with a lot of my juniors, the verbal ability section is noticed to be comparatively easier for students compared to the quantitative ability section. So even though it is 40 questions and it carries 160 marks, it is very very scoring. You can instead of devoting 40 minutes to it, you can easily finish it in 20 minutes. And this is my advice to you, that start with the verbal ability question when you are attempting a mock paper or when you're attempting the actual IPM ad paper. Start with the verbal ability sections. Try to finish the 40 questions in 20 minutes itself. The extra 20 minutes that you get, you can invest that in the quantitative ability section, which would not just give you more time to solve more questions over there, it'll also make you feel less nervous, that if you start the quantitative ability section first and you get stuck on a few questions, you might end up missing out a lot of time of the paper. So I suggest start with the verbal ability question, maintain a good speed through it. Try to finish it in 20 minutes. I am confident that when I gave the exam, I was able to finish it in 7 to 8 minutes. Yes, I was able to finish the 40 questions section in 7 to 8 minutes and devote that time to quantitative ability instead. And in my year also, quantitative ability was a very very tough section. While verbal ability was easy for me, and I'm sure I would have got almost all of them right. Quantitative ability was tough for me. But just because verbal ability is easy for you does not qualify you, because you need to understand there is a sectional cutoff. You need to have a minimum number of marks both in quantitative and in verbal. So just if you are very confident and very good in one section does not qualify you for IPM, because you need to meet the minimum cutoff even in the other section. So coming back to talking about strategy and talking about preparation, verbal ability, it has been noticed that for students who have a good communication in English, who've studied English well in class 12, find it easy. But that does not mean that you do not have to practice it. There are comprehension questions involved. There are, questions that test your lingual skills, which are involved. And so I do suggest that you practice verbal ability too, especially practice trying to do it with good speed, trying to build a good vocabulary. For students who feel that their English is very weak, there are students who do not study in an English medium in their class 12. They can still apply for IPM. They can still do very well in IPM after joining, but you need to work on your English skills. um, what I would seriously suggest people who do not have good verbal ability skills is read. Read as much as you can. Read an English newspaper, read some English novels, try to find difficult words, try to understand those difficult words. If you are really struggling with verbal ability, there's a lot of things that you can do. Now, a lot of questions I have been receiving is how do we devote time to IPM aptitude test, which is a very fair question. Class 12 students have to apply for a lot of different things. You may be preparing for JEE, you may be preparing for NEET, you may be preparing for CLAT. So, in the middle of studying for different examinations, do understand that quantitative ability, whether you build it for JEE or whether you build it for IPM AT, it is still ability. It is still ability that you are building in yourself. So, what I suggest is that if you are a JEE aspirant, when you're doing mathematics preparation for JEE, do your mathematics preparation, and in addition, try to see, where is the overlap and what, things are left out of the overlap. What subjects, what chapters are left out of the overlap, which IPM at subject chapters are left out of the overlap in your JEE preparation. And similarly, for students who are preparing for CLAT, etc., try to see that what sort of questions are common between the CLAT exam or any other aptitude exam and the verbal ability section of IPM. So, by doing some research on this and by trying to understand this more deeply, you'll be able to really, really reduce the amount of time that you are devoting specifically to studying for one thing. I have received a lot of questions about should we only study for IPM at, or can we study for JEE also? Can we do coaching for something else also? So, in my experience, when I was giving class 12, I was really, really devoted to studying for the AIPMT exam or the NEET exam. And I was not able to devote a lot of time to IPM ad preparation at that time, and I still got through very well. But I do believe that since that time, the competition has got very, very, very tough. So in my year, there were some 10,000 people who had applied, and I'm sure it's as much as four times more by now. So the point that I'm trying to make over here is that there is a very, very high competition and a very, very low success rate, which is there in IPM. But that should not be discouraging for you. That should only tell you to, devote more time to it, more good time to it, and, be able to strategize your preparation well. So even if you're preparing for JEE, even if you're preparing, for your board examinations, even if you're preparing for, other entrance examinations, do devote some time specifically to IPM at, and especially after your board examinations, you get a lot of time. Devote a lot of time to practicing mock paper questions, building your verbal ability, building your quantitative ability over there. And talking more specifically about verbal ability, for students who struggle with verbal ability, who struggle with their language skills, etc. Again, the only solution over there is to read and to practice. And if there are students who really struggle with verbal ability, feel free to drop me an email, and we can connect over mail on some studying techniques for this. Now, that was a lot about the IPM aptitude test, but let's come to a very key feature of this admission procedure, which is the written analysis test or the personal interview. So, the written ability test, I'm sorry, the written ability test, tries to get the students to express their views on a specific topic. Um, so, why are we asking you to write an essay or express your views on a topic? The answer is that as a manager, you are required to have good opinions, and you are required to express your opinions well. So therefore, having good communication skills, good argumentative skills is very important. How do you build these? Again, the answer for this is to read a lot, to be more aware about what is happening around you, be aware of what is going on in the news these days, have a good general knowledge. And when you have good general knowledge, when you watch TV debates, whether you when you read opinion page articles in newspapers, you're able to build good opinion by yourself. So again, I would suggest for students who feel that they do not have argumentative skills, they've not debated or given speeches or done public speaking in their school. It doesn't matter. These skills are something you can still build right now. And if you qualify for the VAT and PI, read a lot of newspapers. General knowledge is a very important part of the PI also, and of reading newspapers, you'll be able to build your argumentative skills and your communication skills, which will allow you to do better in the VAT section. Talking about the personal interview is conducted by professors of IIM Indore, by distinguished industry people, and therefore there is a panel of usually three people, which comprises of two professors and some other individual who may not be a faculty. The aim of this is not just to see your academic ability, but also to see your confidence, your communication skills, and to judge you as a person and how well you fit into what IPM is about and what the aims of IPM are. So the personal interview is very unique in the fact that very few colleges for undergraduate admissions have a personal interview, while colleges have been having interviews for assessing MBA students for a long time. For undergraduate students right after class 12, not many people have an interview, not many colleges have an interview. And again, most people are unprepared for an interview. I'm sure that 90% of you would never have given an interview, in your life before you right now. You may have given some interviews, to join your school, but again, that is a very, very small percentage of people to do that. So people are not really prepared on how to present yourself in an interview. How do you speak in an interview? What do you talk about? How do you direct the conversation? What tone, what etiquette to have. So therefore, the personal interview is very, very unique for IPM, and it requires a lot of preparation. It requires a lot of rigor, and it requires a lot of understanding about what interviews are like, what interview processes are like. So for students who want to prepare for the interview, you can feel free to approach me. Um, After your IPM at test results are out, I will be offering a course about interview preparation. This course that I will be personally taking, I'll be doing it on the basis of my experience, as someone who has given the interview and as someone who has taken a lot of interviews for people at IIM Indore. What I will try to do through the course that I'm personally offering is I'll try to make you understand what is the structure of an interview, what is the content that is asked in the IPM personal interview, what is the etiquette that you should have in an interview. I'll be personally taking three mock interviews along with other people who have given the interview, with some of my colleagues or with some faculty if possible, and we'll try to build your skills for the personal interview together. Not only this, we'll also take a personality assessment where we'll help you find out what your personality is like and give you feedback on that. So this is a course that I will be conducting myself after your IPM AT results are out. And if you are interested in taking this course, if you're interested in me personally preparing you for the personal interview, you can feel free to reach out to me. My email ID is I'll leave in the description below. And you can feel free to reach out to me, and we'll work together to make sure that you succeed in the IPM personal interview. Talking about the IP MAT dates, the IP MAT was supposed to be scheduled for April 30, that is yesterday, but uh, that has been postponed due to the lockdown situation. And currently, the institute has not given any further clarification on when the IPM aptitude test will be held. So a lot of people have been asking me whether the IPM AT may be online, whether the IPM AT may be cancelled. I do not want to comment on any of these speculations. All I want to say is that keep following the institute's official social media handles. Trust only the official news that comes out of IIM Indore Facebook page or the IPM Facebook page or on Twitter, etc. Do not trust many of these other third-party websites or coaching centers and what news they bring out. So trust only that information and keep following them for more information. I'm sure the institute will also reach out to you by mail or by message, but do follow them on Facebook to know what are the most recent details about these dates, etc. Now, talking about the IPM fee structure. So, for the first 3 years, the IPM tuition fees are 4 lakh rupees per annum. Um, and in the last 2 years, they are 16.10 lakhs for 2 years. That is 8.05 lakhs in the first year and 8.05 lakhs in the second year. So for NRIs, the fee structure is different. For the first 3 years, you have 6 lakh rupees per annum. And for the last 2 years, you have 24.15 lakh rupees for 2 years. So for resident Indians, that comes out to 4 into 3, 12, 12 plus 16, that is 28.10 lakhs is your tuition fees. There is some hostel or mess fees that is additional to this, which I do not have clarity on the exact figures, so therefore I do not want to comment on them. Now, I understand that this fee structure may seem daunting for a lot of people. And what I want to reassure you is that do not let the IPM fee structure make you feel that this is a too expensive program for you, because there's a lot of financial assistance that is available through IIM Indore and through private and public banks. So first of all, let's talk about the financial assistance that IIM Indore provides. This is called a need-based financial assistance program. What it basically is that it tries to see that based on your family situation and based on your family income, what is your ability to pay for the IPM course. And if it is found that there is assistance that you require or your family requires for you to study in IPM, this is for students who apply through the EWS category, as well as students who do not apply through the EWS category. Regardless of that, you can feel free to approach the institute for financial assistance, and therefore after that the institute judges your ability to pay and therefore gives you some sort of fee waiver. That I'll explain what is the structure for the fee waiver that helps you to cover the cost towards IPM. This may cover the cost towards your tuition fees and towards your hostel fees, towards your mess fees, and it supports you in whatever expense you have while you are studying at IIM Indore. So, what the institute has done is that they have built some buckets based on which they have decided what sort of fee waiver can be awarded. For students whose family income is less than 1.5 lakh rupees per annum, the institute offers 100% financial assistance. Below 3 lakhs, they offer 75%. Below 4.5, it's 50%. Below 6 lakh rupees per annum, it is 20%. Below 7.5, it is 15%. And below 9 lakhs per annum, it is 10%. Now, this is not a blanket, sort of black and white graph that you should follow. The institute judges this through the basis of a personal interview that they will be conducting after you join. So there is something called a faculty. There's a committee that analyzes this. This committee is made up of faculty and other staff at IIM Indore, and what they try to do is that you will be asked to present income documents and property documents and other such documents to the committee, and based on that they see what sort of financial assistance that you need, and based on that they judge how much fee waiver that you should be awarded. How this is structured is that the student has to take an education loan from a bank, and whatever fee that you would have paid would be reimbursed back. Whatever fee the bank would have paid through the education loan would be reimbursed back to the bank based on these percentages that is judged for you. So, while you may not have fully understood this right now, the basic point of this is that do not think that the high fees is a burden for you, or that it is an impediment for you to join IPM. Even if you feel that you cannot afford the course, then you will get support for the course, and do not let that uh, be a hurdle for you to prepare for IPM and give the exam. Prepare for the exam, research well about the course, give your best in the aptitude test, and if you feel that you need assistance, that will be provided to you. Aside from the financial assistance that the college offers, there are a lot of education loans that are available. So most private and public banks, be it State Bank, Canara Bank, Allahabad Bank, etc., 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 all of them offer education loans for IPM. They can cover up to the full amount that you would be spending at IIM Indore. They can cover your tuition fees, they can cover your hostel mess fees. Some of them even provide support for things like travel and things like book fees, etc., etc. So generally, these have very affordable interest rates of around 8 to 10%. And the way education loans are structured is that you can complete the all 5 years of your education, and 1 year after you get a job, you begin paying back the loan. So therefore, you have a lot of time to study properly, get a good job, and then settle down in your job, and then begin paying back your loan. So that's about the sort of prepared comments and prepared thoughts that I had, and I'll be taking some questions that I have received now, and I'll be answering those questions. Uh, Someone has asked me, are other IIMs introducing IPM? So, to my knowledge, currently, IIM Rohtak is the only IIM which has a course called IPM. Other IIMs, I do not think are introducing IPM this year. If any, would have thought about having an IPM program, they would have, already released it to the press and informed the press about it. But one thing I would like to clarify over here is that IIM Indore has been running IPM for a long time now. It started in 2011. Since then, it has gone multiple changes to, based on the feedback that students give, based on the feedback that faculty give, based on the feedback that, companies give, and based on how management education in itself has changed. So the IPM program that you'll be joining is something that has been very well tested, which has been honed, and the faculty have a lot of experience about teaching IPM students, and all of that counts towards building the course into the course that you see today, into building a very very good sustainable course. So, if you are trying to judge the sort of 5-year MBA program that IIM Indore offers with those of other colleges, do keep in mind that the sort of experience that IIM Indore has of offering this course is in itself a very, very big plus point. Someone has asked me about the EWS certificate and how do EWS students apply, for IPM. During your application itself, you will have the option to apply as a EWS category student, and based on that, you can upload some documents and be able to apply as a EWS category student. One thing I would like to clarify over here is that someone has asked that they do not have the EWS certificate right now, and how do they go about this? That even if you do not have the certificate right now, if you have uploaded a provisional certificate or a temporary document right now, I'm sure IIM Indore will offer you the opportunity to present the documents later on. You'll be able to join the college, somewhere in the middle of August. So you have a lot of time right now to get the document. So even if because of the lockdown or because of the COVID situation, you're not able to get the correct document, you will have some time to get the document, be able to furnish it to IIM Indore. Your admission will not be cancelled because you're not able to provide a document. The institute is pretty flexible about understanding that. A lot of people have been asking my score in mock examinations for IPM. So I did not give any mock examinations, so I cannot tell you what my score was. Um, uh, I've also received a lot of questions about what was my score in the IPM aptitude test. So for the first 4 years, IIM Indore did not release the scores that people had in that aptitude test or in the VAT PI. So even I do not know how much I scored in the verbal ability section or the quantitative ability section. So, but I think that you can look in the details that have been received that have been released in the last 2 years. Amindor has been very transparent in showing what are the minimum, maximum cutoff, and benchmark marks that everybody has gotten, and you can use those marks as a benchmark for how much you want to be aiming to get in the mock examinations. Someone has asked me if students preparing for JEE have an advantage in IPM aptitude test. Um, I wouldn't say they have an explicit advantage. What I can say is that students who are preparing for IIT JEE end up naturally building a lot of good quantitative ability. They are solving 1,000 numericals a day. They are solving 1,000 maths questions a day. So naturally, all that practice does build a lot of quantitative ability, and that does not mean that they have a bigger advantage in joining IPM. But it does mean that for other students to prepare, you do need to do a lot of practice in your quantitative ability section to get at par. So students who do not have maths in their class 12, I really suggest that you do a lot of mock examinations, you do a lot of practice to be able to match with people who have had maths and who are doing 1,000 numericals or 1,000 questions a day. Someone has asked that the registration date has expired. Can you still apply? I do not think that there will be any relaxation for the registration date or any late registrations, etc. So you can either apply next year, and you can even there are people who join a different college, and after completing 1 year in a different college, they apply for IPM again and they get through again. So that's an option that you can keep. People have asked me whether there will be any changes in the exam pattern this year. I'm not aware about any changes, and every year the structure of the exam pattern is released on the IPM website, on the IIM Indore website. So you can feel free to check the exam pattern over there. I do not think that because of the lockdown or because of having a delayed exam, there will be any explicit change in the way the exam is conducted. Um, I have received a question about how many students were from non-maths background. How many students from non-maths background qualify for the IPM course? A lot of students who have not had maths are still able to do well in the IPM aptitude test and are still able to do very well in IPM. So in IPM, in the first year, you have a few courses which are based on mathematics, courses such as differential calculus and integral calculus. And there have been cases where students who did not have maths in class 12 were able to top courses in maths in IPM. So even if you have not had maths, that does not mean that you won't be able to clear IPM at. Practice well, you will be able to clear IPM at, and you'll be able to do very well in IIM Indore. So that's about it in the sort of prepared questions and comments that I had. I will be answering questions in the live chat. You can also feel free to comment on this video and I'll be trying to get back to you. My email ID is something I'll be leaving in the description. So for anyone who has any detailed queries that you want to have, feel free to shoot me a mail. I may take my time in getting back to you, but I will definitely try to get back to you with the best possible answer to your queries. And for students who struggle with verbal ability, or students who want to prepare for the personal interview, do write to me about that, and I'll try to help you out about it as much as I can. I hope this webinar was important, was useful to you, and you were able to get good information out of this. IPM is a course that is very, very unique in the way it is conducted, in the way it is structured. So I do suggest that you give it a very, very good shot, and all the best for your preparation. Thank you.